Here, let's change these colors up. No, I can't. This was one of the games I had to complain about because it didn't host on top versus bottom. So, for the purposes of this game, in the top left-hand corner, we do have the Grey Zerg fighting for aSh. Hit Squall. And his opponent spawning down here in the white in the bottom right. It's the Swedish Terran fighting for iRk. It's Marwin. Now it's always fun to be able to get to see some TVZ, and obviously TVZ between these two players should be a lot of fun. I am hoping, at the very least anyway. Not really sure what to expect from these two players. Obviously we've seen a few games of TVZ from Marwin, but not overly a huge number. If we actually take a look at his average game duration, it's only around 14 minutes, and his average game duration versus Zerg is actually 10 minutes, so kind of cool. Hopefully we'll get a little bit longer game than 10 minutes, but obviously Squall without any form of statistics yet. Now, I did say this was grey, but it's kind of more an off blue. Not really sure what color this is, so if anyone knows, let me know. Now, is Marwin gonna play mech here, or is he gonna go for bio? Now, interestingly, he's chosen to wall off like this. You can actually wall off with just a single depot and a single barracks, so not really sure what his plan is with this wall. Maybe he's gonna fit a factory in there. He is going for his gas, of course. It is made. Squall, however, is kicking it old school, just going for a 12 hatch immediately. Now, 12 hatch is probably the most common build against Terran even now. Just due to the fact it's almost necessary to do it against one Rax expand, but we don't really see that too much from Terrans anymore. It's definitely more into these tech openings. Now, is Marwin going to go for a factory? Is he going to go for a very quick academy and go for 2 racks or 3 racks or something? We'll have to find that out. Looks like it is just going to be a factory, and this is why he walled in such a strange way. Now, of course, this wall position, it does keep you alive against lings, but so does the other wall. The only problem is it traps your your vultures in until you can move the barracks. So regardless, you have to lift the barracks up, and Squall is going to see that this is coming. Now, I guess the important question about Squall here is how well versed is Squall in the modern meta, because these tech openings have definitely come into fruition the last year and a half or so, and I know there was mech openings back when Squall was playing super actively, but they weren't as common. Now, when you have someone like Eriador as an ex-teammate, I would imagine you're pretty smart at this game. Eriador obviously knows more than I think anyone else I know about how the game actually functions, so I'm guessing Squall is going to have a pretty good shot here to deal with this quite normally. Now, Marwin has pulled out. He's going for a pulled out of gas. He's going for a command center here. Factory expand, very, very common. Now, this is a weird situation. Going for this wall and then just lifting your barracks means essentially, if you are getting ling all in, you will just die. But luckily enough for Marwin, he's got his SCV in the main base, seeing everything that's going on. And we have another old schooler here, TT1, appearing out the darkness to have a watch. That's kind of cool. Now, TT1, you probably know a lot more about Squall than I do, so if you could maybe throw something in chat about what his old style was, so I kind of have a clue what to look out for, because from everything I've heard, he was a really, really good Zerg player, but I don't really know enough. Now, Squall is already ready with the Sunken, getting ready to build a wall in here as well, using the Spire as part of the wall against Bio. This would be a death sentence, but because Squall knows there is a factory here, he knows he shouldn't have too much trouble. Now, there's been no additional marines added on. There is an armory. We're likely going to see a second factory, but of course the starport could be, yeah, so it's definitely going to be a second factory here, as he is going for vehicle plating. This is going to allow him to get his get up his Goliath super quickly, get them super powered against against Mutalisks. It's super important to get that +1 armor. Squall played every style according to TT1, in case you're watching this on the YouTube VOD, so I guess we'll get to see a little bit more of how he's gonna function in this matchup. Now, he did go for two hatch mirror into a third hatchery, so it's not super all in or anything like that. He didn't do one of the more modern tweaks to this build where you go for the third hatchery, add another expansion. One of the main reasons for that was he didn't actually manage to kill the vulture super early, and it's still actually alive, so he wouldn't have been able to sneak a drone out at all. A little bit unfortunate for him, but obviously going 3 hatch on 1 or 2 bases isn't the worst thing in the world. Now, we are going to see a Hydralisk end coming in. Now, going into a Lurker follow-up behind this isn't the most common against mech, but looks like it is what Squall's going to do. You can go for Lurker drops, which are very, very good in this situation. And especially when you have like an Overlord in this kind of position, if you just move it here, pick up 2 Lurkers and drop in the main, that can be very, very problematic for a Terran player. Especially as when you're going for mech, you delay the Academy a lot later. But here it is, it's a fake mech build here from Marwin. He's going into 3 racks of Bionic play, which is kind of cool. Now, where is the Academy? The engineering bay is already spinning, but with no Academy just yet. That's kind of an interesting choice. Now, the Mulists are on the way, running through the map. There's also some Lings running around as well, just to see if they can catch the Vulture, it looks like. Wants to make sure there's no mines on the middle of the map. And we've got the 3rd base coming in from Squall already, and things are definitely looking pretty good for him. Okay, this is strange. Going for this early +1 vehicle plating when you're going for bio behind this is such a weird decision. It's not something you really see, but there is a timing attack you can do with Mass Goliath, Mass Bio, and that looks like what Marwin is kind of building up to. Now, we should have +1 attack done for his Marines very, very soon, actually, so this is very quick +1, given the fact he did open this kind of weird mech opening. But going to be 4 ranks, should see a Starport being added on relatively soon after this, as well as the 2nd gas, because getting those vessels is going to be super important against the upcoming Lurkers. Now, Squall got a couple of his units stuck in the middle of the map, a little bit unfortunately, but here are the Lurkers. Now, is there any drop coming? No drop, but there is a Queen's Nest, so Hive is going to be coming up pretty soon after this, at least that's what I'd normally say. But this is an old guy from Eriador's clan, so the camera guy, nice. Okay, we've got triple medic coming in. The Academy is finally up, but here we go, the Lurkers coming in at the front. This could be a big amount of damage. The Goliaths do take a lot of Lurker spines to kill though, but this is so many Lurkers. He gets all of the bio that Marwin's been building up, and this is not looking good for Marwin. He does not have any form of scan, actually using some SCVs to try and beat some of the spines there. Nicely done, but down to just 2 Goliaths. Is he going to die just here and now to Squall? That would be incredible. And Squall is in a position where he can deny mining on some of these minerals now, and there's more and more units heading over. He's actually bringing a couple of drones here. I think this is probably just for, yeah, it's just a misrally. I was going to say if he builds some mana hatches, that would be amazing. But the Ling's coming in, going to try and get this tank. The tank is the big problem for the Lurkers. But look at this, he's forced to lift his command center. This is massive for Squall to be doing to Marwin right now. The Starport is finally done, but the tank's going to go down. Oh my goodness, Marwin is in such a lot of trouble here, and Squall continues to rally units over. Unfortunately, still getting caught off guard by the temples in the middle. Here we go, the Bio's going to try and stim forward. The tank is finally sieged, and he is going to be able to deal with the Lurkers, but he's only got 1 scanner. He cannot land to make another scan because there's a Lurker under it. And does he have any scan energy? No, he doesn't. He is in a ton of trouble. No science facility just yet either. I mean, there's a Wraith out here, but what's it going to do for you when you can't even see the Lurkers? Now, he's actually pulled back because he's worried that there's going to be another scan. As we know, it's a little bit further away, but we've got Squall moving forward once again. Hive is done. Defiler Mound is on the way. The 3rd base is pretty well saturated. Evolution Chamber coming up Now this single vulture has come back. It's got 4 kills from earlier, and it could actually kill every single drone at this base. It does take 3 hits from a single vulture to kill a drone, but looks like we've got Marwin trying to push out again. Does manage to take out a couple of lings, but losing a lot of marines in the process. Not really where you want to be. 5 drone kills on this vulture. Could get another one as well. He sees the Nidus is up, so he now knows there's hive, and he will know what is coming in. Now, we do have a Wraith still. The Wraith can actually be used to scout out in the middle of the map. It has taken a little bit of damage from a Hydralisk, but here we go. Looks like Marwin is going to go for his timing here as he tries to push forward. Does need to be careful of these Lurker Spines, though. Kind of nice splitting. I don't want to say it's great splitting because he would lose a lot of Marines, but will he see these extra Lurkers coming in? No, he won't. The Wraith is just going to go over and scout. Now the problem is, when Consume is done, if a Defiler can get to his natural, this army is not going to be able to deal with Lurkers. Now, is he going to be able to push in? Nice stim to try and get the Scourge, but I mean, there's no vessel out here to really worry about just yet. Looks like the first vessel isn't even on the way. The Science Slay still not finished, and Marwin is still in a bit of a sticky situation. He does have pretty good upgrades, +1, +2. Not +2 never started, and +1 armor never started either, so the timing window is certainly closing here. Now, we actually see him going into Mass Vulture because he knows the second Swarm comes out, he is going to be in a ton of trouble, and he's fighting uphill against Lurkers. He is going to be able to break up here, but for how long? I mean, there's actually a Wraith chasing a drone all the way over here, but look at this! Consume's done. If Swarm comes up on these tanks, this is going to be game for Marwin. But look at this, he's going to put down some mines, going to eat a lot of the mines. It is Squall, great defense so far, but he's unable to deal with... Oh, if he targets this Defiler, yes he does. He targets the Defiler and gets the back Lurker as well. Nicely done by Marwin. That's not the easiest thing to realize you can do. And this is going to be a big bio push, pushing into the top right-hand base. There's actually no units up here to defend. A single Defiler comes out. He's going to be able to defend. Oh, no, he's not. He didn't have Consume done on that Defiler. And all of these drones are going to go down. A few more drones being transferred in. Now, there is 3 Lurkers about to spawn. But if he target fires them, as he is, he's going to be able to take them down. Great moves by Marwin. Going to pick off the 3rd base. Okay, now this 3rd base is going to go down. Let's have a look at the front. This Swarm is still up. A second Lurker is back here. It did move back a little bit. We've got a 3rd command center finally coming in. He actually scanned there ahead of where this army was. Oh my god, he's going to get another Defiler as well. Great moves by Marwin. Squall has done a pretty good job in this game, but Marwin is doing incredibly. His micro is absolutely on point. He's not losing way too much. He's not really able to do much damage anywhere, at least to Squall, but obviously he's just taken out the 3rd base. And that's really the major power play now. Marwin is actually going to choose to double expand. +1. No, he's actually going for a mech switch behind this. Okay, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And to answer the question, Rainbow, of why the supply is so different, it's just the way Terran and Zerg function. Zerg will usually be on lower supply than the Terran, and also the fact that Marwin killed a ton of drones over at the 3rd base kind of put him way ahead in that regard. Now, going for a mech switch behind this, especially when you don't actually have a 3rd gas, is really interesting. But obviously you're going to be able to add a ton of vultures on. Now, landing the Science Slay out the front as well, going to add a little bit of a buffer against any kind of mass Hydra plays. But he already knows that there's no units coming towards him. He's got good scouting pretty much all over the map. The Vulture Mine's obviously going to be doing a ton of damage to anything pushing forward. Oh no, losing the Defiler. Defiler for some reason running out of the Swarm. And that is not a unit you can really afford to lose. Now it looks like Marwin's going to try and stim around and cancel this base once again. Can the Lurker actually burrow in time? It doesn't look like it will. No, it won't. There is a Lurker on the high ground, but it's not going to be able to deal with this bio if it goes behind the gas. And there we go. He's going to be forced to move forward. But this bio is just going to be able to get away again. if he chooses to move it, I guess. Thing is, at this point, he's going to have been changing a lot of his supply into these vultures. You can see with his final remaining barracks, he was just building nothing but fire bats, because lings, when you're mech switching, are the most dangerous thing in the world. You don't have a ton of mines everywhere. You only really have your tanks and the leftover bio, and if they get adrenaline, which of course he will have, then it doesn't do great. But it looks like lings just ran over the Defiler Mound for some reason. I guess that's not walkable terrain, but here we go. Looks like the lings going to trade pretty well with these vultures. That was very lucky that that mine did not go off, but that's actually a lot of lost mines from Marwin. Now Squall going to push forward with some more lurkers. Oh no, they're going to run into my... Okay, ooh, that was close. Going to move around onto where this Defiler is. Now he's going to have to... Oh, he's going to lose the Defiler. The Defiler gets under the swarm. That's lucky, but here we go. Mines are going to start heading down onto the army of Squall. They're going to make it very difficult to push forward. Looks like Squall is kind of just moving his lings through everything, but nice micro going to catch that vulture for now. But look at the number of vultures that are behind this. Marwin, he's getting ready to take this top right base. He'll be able to take this fairly soon as well. It looks like we're going to see fire bats versus the temples in the middle. They do take a very long time to kill it, but obviously this is going to open up a bigger space for him. But here we go, the counterattack coming into the third base. Swarm going onto the high ground. Nicely done by Squall. But look at this, there's going to be a lot of mines under the swarm. Is he going to be able to kill the lurkers with them is the important question. The Defiler goes down at the very least, but the lurkers not targeting the mines. Only one does remain. But he's not going to be able to kill all of the mines to them. Nice targeting. Oh, and the mine drag kills all of the vultures. Nicely done there. And the lurker's going to continue flooding down to the bottom left. The lings clearing out a lot of the mines. Now let's check in on the temple squad. It's still only halfway dead. Do we have any additional mech upgrades coming in? We've got plating. Oh, it's 2-1, so it's going to be 2-2 eventually. Now the lings getting down here in the bottom left. There's not actually that many units back here to defend. This could be a good move by Squall to get these lings in, but a ton of vultures do turn up at the last second, and these lurkers were not in a position to try and help defend against this. Now, oh, last minute swarm. They're losing the Defiler though, but this is going to be a ton of damage on these tanks. The vessels though, going to be able to clean this up. Now this is actually a little bit of an unfortunate siege location. Target firing this back lurker, allowing him to attack the front one, and this has been irradiated as well. So Squall is in certainly a difficult position here. His third base is only just now back up, barely mining over here with any drones. Still only 26 drones, 18 minutes into the game, and sending these little lurker and defiler squads around is good, but you need to secure a base with them. You can't just continually lose units as Zerg. You're not going to be in a good spot. Losing 2 additional lurkers down here as well. The 2-2 upgrades very close to finishing. Interestingly, not going for +3 attack just yet, but Marwin is in such an amazing position. He's fine. Now, if he managed to mine drag this into the mines, it would be an incredible situation, but I don't think we're going to see it now. Here we go, the fire bats have finally broken down the temple in the middle. He's going to lose all the fire bats. That's a little bit unfortunate. They wasted so much time trying to get through the middle and then went to die. He's probably just freeing up a little bit of supply, because this is the main story in this game. This massive conga line of Terran mech. There's mines on the high ground. The lurkers are completely blocked away. Now there is some ultralisks here. Now can the ultras do what they need to do? It doesn't look like they can. One of the ultras going down immediately. What's the upgrades on them? It can't be that high. No, he's only got 1 carapace, and this is surely going to be the nail in the coffin. Squall has fought hard, but Marwin fought harder as he pushes his way through to the natural of Squall on one of the final remaining bases. He actually just built a round of drones and defilers, and that's not units that can kill these tanks, unfortunately. GG. Squall taps out and Marwin takes game number 2.